Hey guys, it's another episode of On the Road, where you travel around on the road with me. Mountain Gopher Trucker. I'm a Canadian truck driver. I travel between Canada and the US. So I'm here in Billings, Montana. Didn't do a video yesterday because where I stopped in South Dakota, it started raining. Really hard rain, really windy. Wouldn't have worked for the video. It was a really crappy place that I stopped at. It took me 20 minutes to park because it was very tight parking. I'm gonna say this: if you're gonna purchase a truck stop or want to put a truck stop up, think of what's coming to you, namely the trucks. We are 70 feet long. We need good space to be able to maneuver, get into the spots and everything, not tight spots. So this truck stop, which is a Flying J, which shouldn't be, it was the worst experience I've had in my life. I got the truck in after 20 minutes. Then I went to use the washroom. No toilet paper. Good thing I didn't have to have an issue with that. So then it says it's got a Subway. Nope, Subway's closed. Apparently they can't find any staff to work it, so it's closed. Completely shut down. And as a Flying J, they don't serve any of the normal Flying J hot food. Pizzas, and burgers, and chicken burgers, and all that kind of stuff. The chicken, roasted chicken, all that. None of that. They had no setup for hot food whatsoever. So if you want something to eat, it would be take your risk with the truck stop food. Super processed stuff, which I'm not going to take that chance. Luckily I got food in the truck. So that's what I had. Then later in the evening, went to go use the washroom. Place was locked up tight. Guy working inside, just walking around inside the store, but all the doors are locked. Awesome. So, got up in the morning, so I had 8 hours left on my 70-hour clock. Checked with work if I should just stay where I was or go, and they said, well, it's your option. So I left. I wasn't going to stay there to do a 36-hour reset in a place that had nothing. So, made it all the way here to Billings with 30 minutes left on my 70-hour clock. Yeah. So I didn't get, I think because it was just, so I only had the few hours of work on last week when I was in Winnipeg. So I'm only getting a few hours back. So I made it all the way here. I'm at the Pilot in Billings that I normally stay at. The same one that if you go back a few episodes, back, where I yelled at the hotshot driver who decided he was going to eat his McDonald's in his car in the fuel aisle area so that I couldn't pull out. I gassed the truck and I couldn't go forward. And the only reason, if you remember, I yelled at him was when he said I didn't know you were there. These commercial trucks sit 14 feet high. So yeah. Then I've been here a couple times since. Here early enough, it is now 6, and the place is still fairly empty. They say they can hold 150 trucks. That's debatable. A lot of the drivers feel probably could cram in more than that because they have no markings for parking stalls. So as long as we park close, we can get a whole lot in here. But that doesn't happen. As I was getting in the truck, I saw a guy over here who took this one spot where you shouldn't be parking. Because now the guys are on my side here. At the very end, he can't get out. Or, well, he can, but it's going to be tight. That's where it should be marked. Because I thought about going there, and then I was like, nope, I'm not going to box some guy in. So, moved 6 spots down. I'm facing straight out. I'll be able to leave really easy when my 36 hours are up and figure out my way up to Abbotsford. I got at least one more stop that I'm going to have to make because I can't drive straight there from here. So I'll have to figure that out over the next day or so. I think I can make it with one more stop. And if that's the case, I can make my delivery on time. If not, then I'll have to make the delivery on Friday. But I think I can make it on for Thursday. I'll just have to double check if what I'm thinking is going to work. And then, yeah, the drive, it's I am definitely tired. Like, yes, I slept and everything, had good sleep, but I'm just tired of this. You know, it's been, tomorrow will be a month. No, Wednesday will be a month that I've been on the road. The whole month of May I've been out on the road. And they weren't just little close places. You know, I went down to Albuquerque, and then Albuquerque to Houston, Houston up to Winnipeg down to or was that Atlanta over to pick these boats up just outside Chattanooga, and now back this way, and that's going all the way to Abbotsford. So clocked in some pretty good miles this trip, but yeah, need a break. It's probably going to be nicer when I can do stuff like a 36-hour reset where I take a hotel room and the pools are open and the hot tubs, and, you know, you can watch TV and put your feet really up and relax for that time. But it's still going to be some time away before that happens. So just keep doing what I do. Go out for a few weeks, go home for a week, out for a few weeks, home for a week. Like, that works for me. Other guys can do 6 months on the road, no problem. Some people, they buy what's called the super sleepers, which is basically a motorhome on wheels, or a motorhome on the back of a truck. It's like a dining room table, they got a shower, they got a washroom, the whole 9 yards. It's quite big. But in doing that, it does limit your weight, because now you got this weight of this extra cab. But some of those people, I've seen them, they're retired, they just have a P.O. box number, and they just go. Take a load down to Florida, go spend a few days in Florida. Oh, let's look up for a load to take, well, we want to go to the West Coast, so they'll find a load heading out to the West Coast. That's what they'll do. Oh, the kids are over here, so they'll find a load to go so they can visit their kids and grandkids. So, everybody's a little different. You got other guys just load, one after another, spending months on the road. I don't know how good that is for your mental health, because you are limited here. It is better nowadays with the smartphones. You can do your FaceTiming, your video chatting with people and whatnot. So you're more connected than back in the day when you had the truck stops and they just had the little phone in the restaurant. Yeah, I remember those because the Husky I stay at in Regina used to have those. Up until just before I graduated high school, they had them. Maybe even a little after. But that restaurant's still there. You can see where those phones were. So yeah, so it might be a little better. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be away for months and months on end. Especially, you get girlfriend and kids and all that kind of stuff. Like, you want to see these people. You don't want to just be out on the road for months on end going, yeah, we're making money, all our bills are paid, but relationship went down the toilet. I know some of these guys don't have any commitments that stay out for months. What else? Oh, yes, motorcycles. Been seeing a lot of motorcycles. I did have, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, when I was going to Atlanta, so I was going through Nashville, through some road construction, had a whole group of motorcycles come by me on the shoulder. Part of the outlaw motorcycle gang. So I moved over. They were very appreciative. Once they all filed in front of me, I believe it's the road captain, just give me a signal for thanks for moving over. So that was cool. I've seen other people driving around, you know, couples on the bigger, like Honda Goldwings and those type of bikes. And then I've seen the other side. Coming out of Nashville when I'm making my way up here. Saw a young guy on a bike wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and he was riding the bumper of a car hauler. And I was actually talking to the guy on the CB. You know, hey, you got this guy coming up behind him. He's like, yeah, I know. Guy's gonna die because he's driving really stupid. And so what the car hauler eventually did was there ended up being a gap. So the guy moved over to the motorcycle, tried to zoom past it. The car hauler pulled up just enough so it pinned the guy between two semi-trucks in the gap between the trucks. And the guy was like flipping him off, basically yelling, then pulled back in, and then once a little while down the road, car hauler let him go. So yeah, comments on the radios were that guy's going to end up smushed on the road because he's driving like a moron. Some people may say, well, the guy driving the car hauler was being a bit of a jerk. Yeah, he was, but we do get frustrated, and sometimes, you know, people act out a little bit. Through South Dakota, saw a guy on a motorbike. He just cruising along, all carefree, no shirt, no helmet. I gave that guy space because that was scary to see. Because if he loses control at highway speed in South Dakota, which is 80 miles an hour, so 130 kilometers, with no leathers on, no shirt or jacket, no helmet, I don't see him surviving any which way. He would probably die. Also going on my drive, after I left the crappy gas station, I had to go through the Badlands, Black Hills of South Dakota, a little bit into Wyoming, and back up into Montana on I-90. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This thing was a shaking. A couple times, whoa! I also saw a truck tipped over. It wasn't from an accident or anything because there were no skid marks or anything. The thing was just over. I'm thinking that might have been from the rainstorm the night before, so it wasn't quite that windy to have that issue. I also saw a motorhome, same thing. It was down a ditch 300-400 feet off the road, but there were skid marks, so I think that one slid off the road, then went sideways and slid. It was tangled in a farmer's fence. So, remind you to be careful. You know, this is, my profession is dangerous. You know, I try to be as careful as I can, leave as much space as I can, but when Mother Nature decides that she wants to smack us around a little bit, there's nothing we can do about that. So yeah, so I'll be on a 36-hour reset to reset my 70-hour clock. Since I have 0 hours basically now. I can't move this thing at all. So I'll be sitting here. Might do a video tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anything entertaining happens in the next few hours once this place fills up. Which I'm sure it will, because you don't put lines down, people can't figure out how to park straight. It's quite interesting. Other than that, we'll talk to you tomorrow probably.